Here we are again, but this time with Box. Box on Community Edition. What a meme, for real. I fucking hate Box. As much as I like to do digital art about him, as much as I like his abilities and his kit, he's just a fucking annoying hero to play as, especially on Community Edition. They have changed this guy so much that it's just not fucking fun to play as him anymore. God damn, like you cannot even take this minion without have your health gone. I swear, bro. Box used to be so fucking good. Like the best box, in my opinion, was before 5v5. That was like the best box. He was good as weapon power, and he was fucking good as CP. And my favorite part about box before 5v5 is that there was like a huge difference between CP box and weapon power box. Like huge shit. And now CP box and weapon power box is just the same thing. It's sad. And I still see people like struggling with weapon power box. Like, let's say you want to try weapon power box, right? And when are you gonna get your damage? Why people always get attack speed items and no fucking base damage? Because Box is just a very easy hero to take down. Because he has no poke. His only poke are his basic attacks. And his base weapon power is really low, so he has no poke. So people just buy attack speed and hope to just basic attack people to death without poking. Just exponential damage and the bone saw. So basically his damage items are bone saw and breaking point. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that has been his whole thing even before 5v5. I mean, people used to buy a breaking point first and then a shiver steel. I mean, poison ship. People used to buy poison ship and then breaking point. I still remember the classic box build, the one I used to use a lot. It was breaking point and then 2 times monocles. That shit was fun. But now things change and weapon power box is kinda ass. He was kinda OP, he was kinda good, and then they nerfed him. They nerfed him during the 5v5 meta. I think Rook, the fucking R company, did it. His AA had a 70% bonus for his basic attacks when he was overdriven, and they nerfed that shit. So he was not able to poke anymore. That was one of the best things about Box, being able to poke, and now he cannot do it. Now as CP, Box is a really good CP hero, to be honest. But there's still that problem when it comes to mortal wounds and this whole meta of killing the sustain. Because every single med or every single item that everyone buys first on this meta as a CP hero is a Spellfire. Because it's just a very good item, it's cheap, and it's just like so good, bro. Like you kill sustain heroes and you can poke with it. It's annoying to deal with Spellfire. It's such a meta pick. If you don't have a Spellfire, you're throwing, or you're just gonna lose a lot of DPS. It happens a lot. If someone doesn't get that item first, they lose so much damage. Enemies will just heal immediately if you don't have something to cut their healing with. It only happens with CP heroes. Weapon power heroes don't need it that much because CP heroes are better at applying mortal wounds to enemies. But yeah, sometimes it's good to have a poison shift. Yeah, so they added this meta, and Box is a terrible car racer. He cannot fucking take good advantage of the Spellfire. It's not a good item on him. So I've seen some people come up with some really interesting ideas where they get a poison shift after the alternative current. And then what's the whole point of like going CP? Like if your game style is gonna be as a weapon power box, just some additional bounces. So that's my problem. That's my problem with CP box. Like there's no such a difference between weapon power and CP. No, because people have to spend time trying to cut enemies healing. So they will get a poison shift, and then they have an alternative recurrent. So it's just like if they were weapon power with just a little bounce damage, and it was more interesting before 5v5 because box used to have like this amazing game style where weapon power and CP were totally different. Weapon power was like you hit the enemy that you want to kill and it fucking dies. But a CP, it was more like, oh, you can just hit the tank and then everything that is close to the tank will die. And that's something I really like. It was a really cool game style that will reward you if you knew who to hit, and then the bounces will do the job. For example, here I'm hitting my main target, and the secondary target is taking less damage. If this was before 5v5, my secondary target will be the one taking more damage. Well, I'm pretty sure why they nerf box or they bring all box back, quotation marks. It's just because it would be fucking devastating to see a box hitting four targets and doing a lot of damage. But of course, they have like cons. Like if you were playing CP box back in the day, you'll be doing a lot of damage with the bounces where you will not doing any damage to your main target. That was what I really like about box. Like yes, the CP box is doing a lot of bounce damage, but if you get close to him and no one is close, then you have an easy kill. So you actually have to like move around and see an opportunity to kill box on a 1v1 and then kill him. It was an interesting style, but now it's different. Now box just gets rewarded no matter who he hits. He can just hit the minions and then enemies will take damage. You can hit your main target. Your main target will be taking a lot of damage while everything around is also taking a decent amount of damage. But it's not very significant. This box only deals like okay damage to everything that is close to him. It's not like the before that he used to do like almost no damage to the main target, but a lot of damage to the targets around him. So there's not such a big difference between weapon power and a CP anymore. Like it's just dumb. And I don't think they're gonna ever change box back or anything. Because they try some interesting things, and when Box becomes popular, everyone just doesn't like him for some reason. Everyone hates Box when he's good. It's just baffling to me, bro, that every time they buff Box, they always nerf him immediately. Now I've been trying a lot of builds, guys. I've been trying everything to see what's the best build for Box. Is it the classic one where you just get alternate recurring Eve and then Dragon's Eye? That's a really good build. That's a safe build, but that build will not win you every single game if you're not fed. I was also trying a different build the other day. It goes like this. It goes Poison Shift, two motherfucking Shatter Glasses, and then Alternative Recurrent. And that shit can be fucking toxic. You play with that build, it feels like all blocks. You have a lot of fucking crystal power. It means your bounces are gonna hit a lot of damage. I will say it's still an experimental. It's an experimental build. I cannot really try that build because there are no real matches in these games. On Community Edition, I only had like probably like 2 or 3 good games so far that actually felt like tier 10 games. So I'm still questioning that build. I'm still testing it. Also, have you seen any kinetics on Community Edition? Because I don't see any kinetics. It's actually really funny. I don't see kinetics around in Community Edition. The other day I was playing kinetic and everyone underestimated me for being kinetic. Kind of funny. Something that I also want to point out is that fucking Box is so fucking useless if he's not fed. And as a weapon power, any other fucking weapon carry can fuck this guy up so bad. Just because he doesn't have poke. Like, even if you, like, are hyper feeding a Box, the Box will not fucking do anything. He will not get any power spike if he's getting hyper fed. Like, it's just baffling. It will take the whole game of just fucking farming to actually get some strength. And it has to do with how people build him. I think there's a better way to build him. A more optimized version of a build that can make him go crazy. There goes my teammate. I've been testing so many builds, but I cannot come out with anything. Like right now in Community Edition, people are coming with some crazy builds, bro. You're just like, what the fuck? How are you killing me with this fucking build? And then I remember, oh yeah, Community Edition. If you build selfishly or you build some crazy stuff, you're gonna do better than if you build it, normal builds that you used to do. It's just how it works. Also, have any of you guys had played Samuel? Samuel is fucking trash. The other day I was playing Samuel and he feels so weak. And it's very funny because he literally deals the same damage as Magnus. But Magnus is actually good because Magnus has a lot of CC, but Samuel doesn't have CC and he's very item dependent. He needs a Frostburn and a Clockwork to work efficiently. And even if you get those 2 items, it's still not enough damage. It's just insane. It's just ridiculous. You can be like hitting all your fucking hits, and it's still not enough damage. I've been playing Samuel recently, and I feel weak as fuck. I feel like I'm not doing enough damage. I don't know if they're gonna do anything about Samuel, but I will say that Samuel definitely needs a buff. There are a lot of things that fucking heroes need, and you can tell just by playing of Community Edition, like fucking Black Feather. That motherfucker is annoying. That little piece of shit is way too annoying. Yes, I get it. Like, it's a risky, it's a hit or miss character. But even if you're not good, like me, you can still do some crazy shit with him. And most of the times when you're playing against Blackfeather, someone does something to you, it feels like bullshit. Like if I had to come up with the options, if I have the option to nerf above heroes, like if I have to choose, I will definitely nerf Blackfeather. I will definitely nerf Jade's uh, base weapon power because that shit's fucking dumb. The other day I was playing Jewel and this motherfucker who had only have attack speed items was out damage me. That was fucking stupid. I would definitely lower his base weapon power to prevent people from doing those dumb fucking builds, those weapon power builds that are just fucking annoying. Like people just fucking use ults with Jades and then come in your ass and then you're really dead. They stun you for like 1 second and then they take your entire health bar. That's kind of dumb. So I'll probably base weapon power to prevent that from like being way too annoying. Shin, I will definitely rework Shin because Shin is fucking stupid. He's just fucking not fun to play as. I will change his B though. I will change his B and give him something that gives him mobility and have some fucking base weapon power. Because it's fucking stupid that you have an enemy in front of you and then you cannot do absolutely fucking nothing. You have basic attacks that literally do nothing. So I will add some base weapon power to at least reward you for like hitting someone with your basic attacks. And then probably do something with his B where he gets benefited from having base weapon power. And probably change his ultimate too. Like maybe like instead of having the flamethrower, I will like it was like the overdriven version. It's like an explosion around you. But when it's like you have your 4 stacks, it will be a bigger explosion. Yeah. So instead of like just standing there and then doing your flamethrower, he will have more mobility. And then fucking Karis. Any of you have played Karis? Karis is fucking trash. Karis is probably like my least favorite hero in the entire Vainglory pool of heroes. Like holy shit. And you know what I hate the most? That I'm actually good with him. That's what I hate the most. I have seen some people try to play Karis and just by the looks, I know they're struggling just because of how fucking weird he works. And my problem with Karis is that Karis has a decent damage output. He has like decent poke, and then he has his ultimate. But the problem with Karis is not his ult, or that his ult is the only reliable thing to kill with. The problem I have with Karis is how he moves, how he feels, how his B works, how his kit doesn't have any combos at all. Like yes, you can use your ult and then your B, well that's it. Let's say you're basically attacking an enemy and then you decide to use your A. It takes forever. Let's say you want to do like the classic combo. The one where you use a basic attack, then you use an ability, and then you reset your basic attack. We all do that shit. We do it with Glaive. We do it with Jewel. You know that trick, right? When you can cancel your basic attack with an ability and then you get it again. You cannot do that with Karis. If you use your B or something, I will prefer if it was like a Dagio. Like as soon as you use an ability, you immediately get your basic attack like faster. so it actually feels more natural to basic attack enemies. And I will probably reduce his ultimate cooldown by half and the damage by half. So you get your ultimate more times, but it deals less damage. So if a Karis hits you with his ultimate, you will not immediately die. And if you're playing Karis, and if you missed, you will have another chance sooner. As for his A, I would probably reduce the damage of his A little bit if they actually improve how his basic attacks work. Because his A actually deals a good decent amount of damage. So I would probably reduce that by 1 second and probably reduce the damage by 15% or 20% of what it is right now. And with the reduced damage and the very basic attacks, Karis will feel more better to play as. But because he's so fucking weird to play, that's why everyone is so bad with him. He's just so fucking weird hero to play. It's really hard to get used to it. You feel like you're stuck in the ground with how his abilities do. Like it just feels like Shin. Like Shin it feels so fucking bad to play as. Like you feel so threatened because you have no mobility. And yes, you can get a lot of kills with Shin. You can get like good kills, but it gets to a point where you just become completely useless. And the same happens to with fucking Karis. And it's not because they're bad heroes. It's just because they have like all these optimization things that they're missing, that all the heroes have. I'm actually impressed that the last hero they released, Amael, is such a better hero to play as. That guy has some like better optimizations for like mid, early, mid, and late game. Like fucking all these other heroes are completely trash. Shin and Karis are so bad. They're fucking weak early game. They become strong and then they become weak again. It's just baffling to me because the reason why that happens is because they didn't think about it completely. Like even before they changed Karis, Karis was such a bad hero. It was a terrible hero that was really awkward to use, and he was able to do some bullshit kills with his perk. And his perk was actually fucking annoying to use. So I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Amael is like the best hero, but the problem with Amael is that he's just a fucking buggy mess. Every time I play with Amael, there's like sometimes where I just desync everywhere. I just go from one point to the other, and then he just fucking slides across the screen. But when it doesn't happen, Amael is fucking amazing. I will say that Amael is one of my favorite heroes right now. It's a really fun hero to play as off tank. It's amazing. He can just go in, balls deep, trust into the backline, and then go back. And then he can fucking secure kills too. It's insane. You can just punch everyone and don't give a fuck. He has a more chaotic game style. I like it because it kind of reminds me like Sang Feng, where Sang Feng is more of a wait for it character, while Amael is more of a hero that you every single time you have your cooldowns, you can just go in. And he's a good hero. He has like good tools. His perk, I would say his perk is alright. You can take advantage of his perk, but it's not something that you will do most of the times. It's not something that you should like wave all the time. I'll say you can like use stuns to use your ultimate to just annoy everyone around you. Or you can use your ult to just kill someone who's low health. So yeah, Amel is like the best hero that the R company ever did. Someone told me that that hero was delayed, and the reason why the art looks different. I don't know about that, to be honest. I just know that Aminal is a good hero, but it was poorly executed. That motherfucker lacks everywhere. I mean, it has to do with all the coding and shit because Super Able Mega said that the hardest hero to code was also, and there's a good reason for that because there's so much shit going on with also how his abilities work, where should we be going, um, what can he target, and all that fucking bullshit. Like also has some weird interactions with his ultimate. Damn, I just hope they bring Vainglory back and they fix all these little shits. They nerf above some heroes that need work. Well, the only thing I want to see they change is the meta because the meta right now is kind of boring because everyone just builds the same thing. Right now, people come up with different builds because it's community edition, but once everyone is back, everyone is gonna go back to the classic builds: Frostborn, Clockwork, Spellfire for CP, and then for weapon power, Broken Mid. I mean Broken Mid. I meant fucking Sword Blade, Bonesaw, and then a Breaking Point. Those are the same builds all the time. Or the crit builds are fucking annoying too. So that was it. Those are the builds. I didn't die a single time because I got lucky. And it was probably the only time I will ever get lucky playing this box. So thanks for watching. This was more of a me talking about Vainglory and all this shit. Later.